Did you know that hypnotherapy can help you heal from major life traumas and resolve other problems that might plague you? Welcome to the Goddess Power Show. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins, and I interview trailblazing women who help us all boss up to live bigger, better, and bolder. I'm so excited to introduce you to certified hypnotherapist Alea Katani. She is on a mission to help you heal in whatever way you need through her services as a hypnotherapist. And she's on a mission to keep all women safe. She has an organization called Keeping All Women Safe, and she's here today on the Goddess Power Show to talk about all that she does to contribute in really powerful ways in the world to help all of you, and especially women. Welcome, Alea.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. Happy to be here. Always good to see you.
You too. I'm just delighted you're coming to us live from Idaho. I'm in Michigan, and I'm really happy that you're here. You're all about the goddess mission of helping empower women. So, Alea, if you could please just introduce yourself and talk about how you got into hypnotherapy and how that mission to help people grew out of your own personal struggles.
Sure, that's a big question right there. That's a big topic. How did I get into hypnotherapy? 20 years ago or more, it was just in my research and my experience, one of the most effective, safe, and evidence-based modalities that could bring about efficient and lasting change that people needed and desired in their lives. I had seen so many people who had been going to various other forms of counseling or other types of therapies and still coming up empty or still lacking what they needed. So it was the next step for me, although it was a step in a lifelong series of steps, because since I was a little girl, people kept coming up to me and asking me for advice and asking me about the way things were and what they should do. When I was a little girl, I knew I didn't know. And I knew why, I wondered, why are they coming up to me? I'm just a kid and asking me for all these answers. But as this continued, everywhere I went, I realized I needed to start to get the answers. I needed to start not only for other people, but for myself to understand, what is this life about? It was a question that ran through my mind since I was a little girl, because I grew up in a violent home where there was no validation of me being any kind of separate entity, no honor of boundaries, no happiness. And so at a very, very young age, the question in my mind, why was I created and what is all this about, was present. And so I began a journey of exploring, and it continues to this day.
Wow, fascinating. So what exactly is hypnotherapy?
So there's a lot of misconceptions about hypnotherapy. So I'm glad that you asked that question. I myself am nationally board certified in 4 different aspects. Most people it's 1. So that includes medical, clinical, alchemical, and transpersonal, which just means there's that many more approaches to each individual's challenge that I can customize for who I'm deeply hearing and seeing and knowing as my client. But hypnotherapy is not like in the old movies where someone puts a trance and the phone rings and you walk out and do some terrible thing against your conscience. This is not what it's about. In actuality, we are all operating at a certain brainwave. And usually in the course of our day, it's a brainwave that is fast and narrow and short. If you look at brainwave charts, which means we're going at a fast pace, we're not tuned into our center, we're not balanced, our mind is totally distracted, and we're stressed. So what I do with clients when I am seeing a hypnotherapy client is bring that individual, return that individual to a state of stillness, to that centered place of clarity where all the answers are for them, where all the guidance, all the clarity from confusion rests, and help them to be able to hear that, discern that for themselves, while also teaching them skills to both know how to relate to their mind, to start developing mind mastery, and how to regulate their own nervous system so that they don't go through their days totally off balance.
Okay,
When you consider our bodies are systems that all have a frequency and a pulsation, our organs are actually envelopes of pulsation. And the more stressed we are and the more distracted we are, the variance of the pulsation or the frequency that we're designed to operate on, that becomes more and more out of balance. So I help people enter that brainwave state that is more spread and tall, that part of the brain that people say, oh, we only use a small percent of our brain as humans. Well, that other percent is a field of all possibility and all potential. And I can take you there, and you can learn to take yourself there.
That's beautiful, beautiful. So what types of transformations have you guided people through over your many years of experience?
So many. I work with all different types of medical and wellness practitioners. So I've seen clients with all types of medical diagnoses. I've trained with the most popular hospital-based program that uses hypnotherapy for cancer patients. I have special training for women with challenged pregnancies that have had miscarriages and stillborn babies. And also with women have come from all over the nation to work with me when they have challenges with infertility. I have seen children walking through our local park whose mothers came to see me when they were just an idea.
Wow.
Yes, and they were successful. So I've seen that aspect. I've also worked with sports enthusiasts and golfers. I'm endorsed by PGA teaching professionals. So I have helped many athletes master the mental aspect of their game and their own nervous system that's impeding them reaching the goals they want. I've worked with children who then have their parents come to me when they see what I've done with their children. And I've had parents who come to me who then send their children when they see what I've done for them. So there's been many. And then there's many, many clients that I've seen that I work with trauma specific modalities such as EMDR and brain spotting and somatic body held trauma and emotions. I follow the last 10 years of trauma research, which tells us that the old ways of talking about trauma can actually imprint it further, that trauma is held in the midbrain and it's held in the body. And those are the routes through which we can release and heal that reactivity that we're holding when our brain rewires due to trauma. And my practice is very, very teaching based at this point, very skill based. So people learn skills that will be valuable to them for the rest of their life. And I know this because I practice these skills and they have saved my life. So all that I do with clients is informed by my very concentrated life journey, which many people consider quite inspirational.
Very inspirational. And that really leads us to your mission of keeping all women safe. So, Alea, can you talk about what that is and how it works?
Sure. So about 4 years ago, I founded this 501c3 nonprofit called Cause, Keeping All Women Safe. It was born out of my knowledge of having been a career social worker for agencies and also in private practice, and really knowing what was going on in the town I had been living in as far as violations against women and being swept under the rug. And then a very, very brazen act occurred against a woman by a man in a beautiful French restaurant. She was sexually assaulted in the restaurant. And when that went around, I was so outraged that such a thing could happen in a restaurant. And so I formed what I called a task force to start with, about 10 influential people in town. And we paid a visit to the police chief and let him know we were going to start increasing awareness in the town of what women needed to know. And it had quite a fast pace. In the matter of months, we had put together several events, self-defense, empowerment, awareness, the deep dialogue. I had formed the nonprofit, and that began a period of a solid 3.5, 4 years where women started contacting me in numbers about the violations that they were experiencing, asking for advice, asking me to intercede with the police or to match them up with certain services that they felt were right for them. I began selling pocket sirens through our website for women that emits a very loud siren sound, so that when women see something ahead that doesn't look or feel right, they can pull this little pin to detour danger, and a lot more. And so this nonprofit now has a mission of global safety. I'm now based in North Idaho. However, our quest to increase the knowledge and the skills of women to be safe and equal in this world and in this nation remains. And the number one thing that women in the US have working against them is complacency. American women, many of them feel that the job is over, that women are safe, that women are equal. And this is not true. There were so many violations of every form going on in this town where I was, that people would be shocked if they heard all that I heard in those short few years. We don't even have an equal rights amendment that's fully passed in this country. And as intense as it may seem to women to hear this, the prison sentences for women who finally defend themselves against an abuser are even longer and more harsh than the abuser. It's still very much a man's world. And even women go into this world assimilating into the male structure and hierarchy and perpetuating it in business and personal relationships. So we still have a lot to wake up and change. And everyone can be a part in your own way with your own skills. Not everyone has to do my way, but everyone has a way to contribute, including men, especially men.
Oh, please explain how.
Well, look, violence against women by men is really a man's problem. It's just that women are the ones who are suffering from it. So men need to, number one, start becoming aware of their own subliminal ways that they are continuing to violate women, either by their conversation, their actions, or tolerance of other men's behavior. And men need to take a stand for women when they see other men who are behaving or speaking in ways that are dishonorable. They need to be an example in their families of totally honoring their partner and be that way consistently, even when they are away from their partner or wife. Men need to educate other men to honor women, and that's when violence will end.
Wow, that's powerful. So what are some things that women can do also to protect ourselves?
Well, this is the same thing that I would say that I focus on in my private practice teaching women. Number one, learn how to master your mind, learn how to relate to thoughts, learn how to stay centered, balanced, present, aware. Be the observer and the experiencer at the same time, so that you're not the victim of both your mind and your environment. Number two, learn the proper identification with yourself. In other words, I am not a woman subject to the standards of this culture that tell me what I need to look like or exemplify or behave like or any of that. I am actually a divine being. I'm a sacred being, a self that is not influenced by whatever I'm told to do or not to do. And I'm also not fearful of what's around me, because I am that which sees all, knows all, is guided by all. And number 3, learn how to hear, feel, and honor your intuition. She is our best friend. She is our true beloved. She is the ultimate time traveler who's been there and has come back to tell us what's going to happen, not to go. We don't need to know why. We don't need to figure it out. That's what our mind does. It says, that doesn't make sense. Let me find out for myself. Well, we will, and we'll suffer, and we'll learn through it, but we can save ourselves more suffering by simply learning how to recognize our intuition as different from thoughts, and then just plain following it. Our intuition says, run, run, don't walk. Don't ask why, just get the heck out of there.
Yes. So it's very easy to ignore the intuition, especially if there's nothing in the physical that is evidence of the danger. It's just our gut feeling, our internal warning system. So Alea, what's your advice to women to actually listen to it and heed the warning?
Well, I call it learning your dictionary. So when I'm in a session with a client, we go into the somatic, the body held feelings of where our intuition speaks to each individual. My intuition has a soft voice. It doesn't necessarily yell to me, but it can be strong. It can be soft and it can be strong. It can come as a form of discomfort in the body, right? There was a time when I was starting to date a man and I couldn't even sit peacefully. My intuition had me in such high alert, and I didn't find out until 6 weeks later why. And that was stressful, what I had to experience, because I simply didn't say, there is something that is causing my body so much disharmony and imbalance by having something to do with this person. I need to not have something to do with this person. I don't need to continue and then find out why it was right again. So number 1, we learn our own body language, our intuition feeling, and where it's located so that we can separate the difference and then realize our mind, our thoughts, our programming, our desires, our needs are going to try to talk us out of it. And it's up to us to say, no, let those thoughts go like the clouds in a vast blue sky. Let them go like subtitles on a movie screen. All things are designed to arise, abide, and pass away. Let those thoughts go and follow your intuition. It will save your life.
Wow. Wow. That is so powerful. Yeah, it is difficult sometimes though, when there's something really alluring about a situation and you just want the prize or the treat or whatever it is. And it's hard, but when you listen, you're rewarded.
Yeah. And of course, all this is part of the human experience, right? We're in this body. We're going to experience things. We can even be taught certain things, but still are going to need to experience things for ourselves. And this is one of the advantages I see of increasing in years, of living longer, of being almost old at this point in my life, because I've experienced such a concentrated life and I've come through so many very serious challenges that I have insight now into how those challenges appear, speak to us, and how to come through with more compassion, more skill, and more life force to come through better than before. But that's only because I've experienced so much, and coupled with keeping openness in your mind, openness in your soul, to really continue to be curious and to learn, to have what they call beginner's mind. And then wisdom and understanding increases.
Alea, how do you discern between intuition and that sort of fear voice in our heads?
Again, we learn through our own body language, our own dictionary, and I lead clients through these experiences so that each individual can both locate the source of where the voice of intuition resides in the body versus the voice of fear. Also, what does the body feel like? What's going on with the stomach or the breath or the mind when we're listening to a voice of fear versus what is going on with the body and the breath and our posture and our focus. The gaze, the position of the gaze of our eyes directly links with the midbrain where trauma is held. So we can learn how we're reacting to something and use that as a discerning factor. If we can't yet tell how it feels, we can use that language of our body that we learn to determine which is which. I can feel the difference. I can hear the difference. It's a very different feel, but that's how I operate is a lot through feel rather than analysis.
I love it. So how has this helped you?
Oh gosh, how has this helped me? So I will say that trauma begets trauma. So having been a child that grew up in a traumatic home, I was set up for more trauma in life. As I experienced these things, the suffering that I experienced, and yet, as I said, the open mind and curious spirit started to give me the wisdom, the understanding, and the skills that I needed, as do many other sacred traditions and paths that we can study and learn. So as life goes on, I integrate practices and wisdom from all different sources. And as I practice, I see how it works. So, for example, I practice mind mastery. If I did not, I would not have recognized when I was given a drug that stopped my life and changed the whole neurochemistry in my brain. But it was by noticing the composition of the thoughts that were passing across my mental screen that I said, wait a minute, what's going on here? This isn't right. And even self-hypnosis. I have practiced self-hypnosis for so many years that when I dislocated my shoulder seriously and the ER was there, and we're talking very, very, very painful when you have a shoulder completely dislocated. And they couldn't find a vein for the morphine because my body was in such shock. And I started practicing self-hypnosis, and immediately my system started to balance and relax, and they were able to find a vein. That's a process that I've used many, many times. There have been times when I had to have a treatment that was very painful, and I've heard a nurse say, oh my gosh, she's not even flinching. And that was because I was practicing what I teach. So in many ways, what I teach is what has proven itself to me to be extremely potent. And it's gives me the most meaningful fulfillment to know that there are people who come to me who want to learn, who are committed to changing their life, who have needs and desires that they express, and I can help them achieve those goals.
Nice. Does hypnotherapy cure diseases like cancer or other things?
Hypnotherapy does not directly cure any diseases, so I don't see clients as a substitute for appropriate medical attention of whatever form that they choose. What hypnotherapy and the other forms that I use, nervous system regulation and mind mastery, what this does is it returns the body to the sense of balance so that systems and wounds and imbalances can self-correct. That's how our body is designed. But when we have so much stress that has caused so much imbalance, if you have organs or systems that are meant to have a pulsation, let's say that's like this, but all the stressors have it going like at a fast syncopation, it doesn't have a chance to heal. It doesn't even, oftentimes it will interfere with the treatments that a patient is receiving, whether it's medication or whatever treatments. This is why I've gone into hospitals before and after surgery. And now over Zoom, I see everyone over Zoom. Number one, people from everywhere can see me. And number two, it ensures so much privacy. People don't even have to be seen walking into an office if they don't want to. But the fact is that our own imbalances with our nervous system and our mental distractions, stresses, and fears will get in the way of our body's ability to heal, no matter how many outside therapies are used. And if that one part is healed, some other sideways injury or wounding or behavior is going to occur because the imbalance is still there. There isn't a skill to know how to live with the lights on. And that's what I bring to my clients, the ability to live with the lights on.
Wow, that is powerful. I love what you do. Where can people reach you, both for your hypnotherapy practice as well as for your mission of keeping all women safe?
Sure. So to reach me to volunteer for a cause is through our website, keepingallwomensafe.com, or email keepingallwomensafe@gmail.com. There is a contact page on that website.
Okay.
And for my private practice, it's empoweringhypnotherapy.com.
Okay.
Feel free to schedule a free consultation call, no cost for that. And then we can set up your series of sessions from there.
Great. I will put those in the description box so people can click on and learn more about both of these amazing things that you offer and get in touch with you for a session or sessions, however you work, and also volunteer, as you said. So combining the hypnotherapy and the mission to help women, Alea, what are some parting words you'd like to share about our ability to empower ourselves, heal ourselves, and really get the help we need to transform?
That's a great question. I would encourage everyone to realize that all things are possible. Never accept limitation. Never accept that the way things are right now is the way they're always going to be. Everything is designed to change. We are magnificent creations. It is in our design to have brilliance, to have genius level abilities, to heal no matter what. I was told multiple times I would never get better. I would be in a wheelchair. I would get worse and worse. This is not the truth. This is a lie. So always remember, there is always hope. We are never alone. Life is with us. Grace is with us. And number 3, all things are possible. Always, no matter what appears to be.
I love that. All things are possible no matter what appears to be. That is brilliant, Alea. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your guidance, and all these wonderful resources today here on the Goddess Power Show.
You're very welcome, Elizabeth. Much love to you and to everyone.
Oh, much love to you too. And I wish you the absolute best. Alea Katani, you're amazing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And thank you, all of you, for watching us here on the Goddess Power Show, where you got to meet Alea Katani, a hypnotherapist and the creator of a 501c3 nonprofit, Keeping All Women Safe. Please do visit her 2 links in the description box. You can learn more about her, use her services, heal, do all the things that she says can help you feel better. Because our mission here on the Goddess Power Show is to help us all boss up to live bigger, better, and bolder. I'm Elizabeth Ann Atkins. I'm so happy that you joined us. Please do give us a thumbs up to like the show. Please subscribe to the channel so you'll get to watch the Goddess Power Show all the time. Please also drop us a comment if you have a question or something you'd like to share. And also please follow me on Twitter at Elizabeth Atkins. Another thing is please hop over to twosisterswriting.com, pre-order a copy of my book, The BISS Tribe, Activating Your Goddess Power. That's my empowerment book that inspired this show. You will love it. It's full of all kinds of information that can help you. So remember, boss up, goddess. You have the power. I'll see you next time.